resisted it for quite some time. So if you want to accelerate and scale your goals, that you're going to want to try this one exercise. I don't know. Have you guys, just let me know in the comment box, have you ever heard of scripting before? Scripting. Now, I was doing some research and I was looking online. I'm like, do they have scripting in the Bible? And they're like, they kind of say it like indirectly, but not directly, of prophesizing over your goals, prophesizing over your dreams, prophesizing over, what you want. Because what you want most of the time, if it's from a space of like a heart center versus a mind center, the Holy Spirit versus the ego, then it most likely is a desire that becomes God's will, not your will. And there's a process to understand the discernment between the two. But today I just want to share an exercise with you because I know a lot of people are getting discouraged with their goals. You get discouraged. You go through these seasons. You get discouraged. You could feel like, give me some hearts, give me some stars. Like, I know I'm not the only one. I'm a human being. I've got big goals. I've got big visions. I've got big dreams. And there are moments where I'm like, is this really what you want me to do? Like, why is this so hard? Why is it like all of this rejection? Why do I feel like I keep failing and I'm not seeing any results? And that's why I can always come back to entrepreneurship, and achieving any massive goal is literally like a sport. So if you have ever played sports before competitively, I've played very competitive sports. So I understand losses, but losses aren't losses if you're growing from them. And just like diamonds, so when you guys see me drop diamonds, I got a question the other day, like, where'd you come up with the diamonds? When I was doing yoga 7 years ago, when I was going through teacher training, my teacher had said one thing that has always stuck with me, because we would do 90-minute hot yoga. And when I first started, I was like, this is horrible, but I kept going. And when I first started learning how to salsa dance, I was like, this is horrible, I suck. And I just kept going because there was a deeper desire within me that was like, I know this is good for me. So has there been like a moment, maybe it's something you're going through recently, or maybe you can kind of reflect back and you're like, wow, I kept going through with something and there were so many moments where I wanted to quit. And that comes down to that diamond formation, where before it is an exposed diamond, diamonds can only be exposed under high intense pressure with the right type of pressure. Now, there's a difference between doing things that are torturous versus things that are going to accelerate your growth. And this is an exercise that I resisted for many years. I'm going to share it with you now, but it's called scripting. And I truly have been integrating it recently because I've been hearing about it a lot. And typically I do take that as a sign from God that if something consistently is put in my face or in my studies, or I keep hearing about it, even though it might be an algorithm thing, I'm not sure. I look at it as like confirmation that it's something I need to pay attention to. So not only is it an algorithm thing, but I shared with you guys, I finished the book. I think it's on the other side. I've got like 5 books out here. Think and Grow Rich. And even in the book, they were talking about writing your goals out every single day and writing them as if that they're already yours. They're already yours and they're already happening. And something that I spoke about before, because I was experiencing this, is that from my understanding, that there's a difference between moving in flow and doing forceful action. And forceful action isn't necessarily the best action, because if you're like me, I'm going to push through until I bust through a limit or I surpass something. And sometimes it's not the best path for me. And I've gotten myself in trouble many times because I kept fighting when it wasn't my fight. Do you get what I'm saying? There's sometimes we just keep pushing when it's not, that door was not meant to be open for us on purpose, but because we're so strong-willed and we just want to, win all the time, it just wasn't meant for you. And when I go back to this part, as far as like scripting, sometimes you're not going to be inspired to achieve your goals because you're focused on the current situation. Maybe the energy you're in is you have self-doubt, or you're worried, or you're feeling discouraged. And that is not inspiring when you're constantly putting your dreams down and you're constantly putting your vision down and you're constantly maybe working really hard on something, whether it be your body, your business, a relationship, and you're not seeing the desire maybe fast enough, or maybe you're measuring your progress in not the right way. Not all tools of measuring progress are right tools to keep you going. But if you start to think of like what's on the other side of this situation and circumstance of me moving forward, maybe you're in business, have a lot of people in the real estate industry, and you have to constantly be making calls. Right now, I'm doing a lot of like connecting with people and following up with people, and it's the same thing. I get rejected all the time. People don't understand why the power of this work is so important, but it's human performance, and you're a human being before you're a business, before you're in a relationship, before you're XYZ. So when you're aiming for really big goals and you have a really big vision in front of you, if you think about, you're not always going to be inspired if you're focusing on the energy of the circumstance, but if you start to think of what's on the other side of the circumstance, that becomes inspiring. And that's when we start to move differently. So today's live stream is all about using a very simple exercise called scripting, and to help you accelerate your goals and your dreams and to put you in a really good spirit. Because the whole thing about creation or manifestation, of years of studying it, is it comes down to a very simple formula that's not easy. So most of the things of getting results, when you really finally get it, or you become an expert and you put in all that time, let's say like 100,000 hours or 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours feels like 100,000 hours, you guys. But when you put in all that time, you're like, wow, this was actually really simple, but it wasn't easy, because there's a difference between simple and easy. And the equation comes down to, if you get what you want, or you get whatever you're getting, because sometimes you get a lot of what you don't want, it comes down to an emotion plus an intention plus an action, or a unaction, right? So you can have, the goal is to get what you want, is to have inspired action with a clear intention and an elevated emotion. But most of the time, we're being destructive towards our goals. And instead of prophesizing over our goals, we're being judgmental over our goals, because we're not getting it fast enough and it's supposed to be on our timeline, but it doesn't work like that. So this is an exercise, the scripting, from my understanding. And finally, I've leaned into it, and I found a really powerful system that works for me and my brain, because I am a very analytical thinker, and I like to take things and I like to break them down into steps, and I like to turn them into playbooks and be very practical and strategic about it. That's just how my brain works. And I'm like, make it kindergarten for me, 3rd grade level, baby. So this scripting, I'm going to get to the point now. What's really worked for me in my brain is, at night, an exercise that I have my clients do. It's a nighttime routine, especially if you're a high achiever, a business owner, an executive, is let's go skate. Let's go. You let me know when. I'm on my blades now. Hurricane season's over. So the exercise is, maybe we'll use skating as an example, rollerblading. I have it on my brain dump list. Tomorrow I want to blade out on a rollerblade. The weather's getting nicer. That's actually a really good idea. So I'm going to put on my list. I got legs tomorrow, and then cardio, I'm going to blade out. And then I've got like 100 leads that I want to follow up with. And I want to get inside of this 5-day habit challenge, you guys. I'm starting a habit challenge September 25th. You can get that at www.tanyacoliver.com/calendar. It is completely free, just a way to give more value to you guys, because I love you so much. 5-day accountability challenge, because a lot of us need accountability right now. So I would just write all of my things that are in my brain, because I got a million things in my brain. I was like, I want to work on my book. I want to do this. I want to have my coaching clients. I want to do that. I want to plan out for the inner circle. I want to take care of myself. I got all these things, and we all have the same amount of time. Plus I sleep. So I brain dump everything down. I just let it all out on paper. And then in the morning, I save it for the morning, is I look at everything and I write it as if I've achieved it. in the book Think and Grow Rich, they talk a lot about the bigger vision goals. But if you're like me, sometimes those goals get discouraging and it puts me in a bad vibe because I'm like, this is overwhelming. This is too big. So what can I take that big goal? And this is what we're doing the accountability group is we've got literally 1/4 left in the year. And there's probably a handful of things that I have not achieved in 2023 that I really want to achieve. Like if I leave this year feeling really proud of myself, these things I want to achieve. And I know about with accountability, community, and support, I will execute on them no problem. And I know you will as well. So that's the main reason why I created this, was inspired to create this 5-day accountability group challenge. And you write it as if it's already done. So I'm so grateful. I had a great blade session and I just felt like so refreshed. I got a good sweat session in. I felt in great shape. I felt super healthy. I was safe. I had a great safe session because I think that sometimes we just think that we're always safe, but we're prophesizing over that goal that we wanted to achieve. And I know it sounds so simple, but sometimes we miss our workout. So if you prophesize over what you want to achieve, I had great connection calls with people and I was really able to pour in other people. They were very receptive. They were grateful for my reach out. They were grateful for me contacting them. They realized that they just wanted to move in a positive direction. And so the point is you start to set the tone and you prophesize over what you want to achieve. And then, of course, you can do bigger scripting for like your big goals. So in something like around December, I teach this one course called Life Auditing and a Life Wheel, which we're going to stay focused here. I'm not going to digress on the conversation. But we take the bigger things, which are your extrinsic goals. So we have intrinsic goals and extrinsic goals. And we take these big goals of what you want to achieve if everything in your life was a 10. So like 10 is like, I feel super fulfilled. I feel beyond happy, XYZ. And then we just break them down and we like reverse engineer everything. And then we create these like scripting for all that stuff. But it's the same concept with like your smaller goals. So the practical exercise for you to take with you today, and also make sure you sign up for our 5-day accountability. Oh, I've got like 3 computers out. Make sure you sign up for our 5-day accountability challenge. It's going to be September 25th. It's completely free just to make sure that you reach those last quarter goals for 2023 where you get the support, the community, and of course, the accountability. I'll be running it and giving you some really powerful strategy techniques so that you can achieve it and feel inspired and move on. And you can get that at TanyaColiver.com/calendar. If you guys want to set up a strategy call, I do have 2 open slots for coaching. And of course, we have the inner circle if you're interested in that and you're wanting a coach and you're wanting somebody to like just get you moving. But that's all for you guys. And I hope you have a blessed up night. And remember that your time is now and you were built for this. So go out and go do some really good things in the world. All right, you guys, and get some rest. All right, have a blessed up night and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.